Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar on change notices and how, when, and what to communicate to your notified body. My name is Ihab Amen, and I'm the Production Director at L&E GMED North America. In today's webinar, we will be touching on a number of topics related to identifying the change notice, triggers of change, the role of parties involved, the main pieces of information that should be communicated, and the ideal timeframes of communicating this information. We will also take a look at some common mistakes in communicating change notices and their consequences on your medical device market access approval or project delays. This webinar is recorded, but you're welcome to ask any specific questions in the chat box, and we will provide you with an answer shortly or in an email afterwards. Identifying and defining a change and its significance is the safest starting point. In its theoretical form, change is the process of causing a function, a practice, or something to become different compared to what it is in the present or what it was in the past. In the medical device field and within its regulatory context, it is not only important to identify and communicate the change. Categorizing the significance of the change specific to a medical device or a change to the quality management system, or both, is essential. The EU directives provide information related to the substantial changes to the product or to the quality system. In addition, there are a few guidance documents that will help you navigate through the process. The recommendation NBMed 2.5.2 and the Best Practice Guide 2014-3 provide information in terms of reporting of the design changes and the changes of the quality system, and also the steps to take and information regarding the assessment of changes by the notified body. The NBOC document also provides examples of changes. Now let's move on to the triggers of change. Triggers of change notices can vary from a change in labeling font to adding a device variant in order to meet client needs, regulatory changes, or market evolution. But no matter what the trigger of change is, the bottom line is to analyze the impact of this change on the safety and performance requirements, and also its fulfillment to the essential requirements applicable to your specific product and to your quality system. It is important to note that minor changes to one device can be considered significant changes to another. This depends on the device risk, the intended use, and other factors involved. For example, a change in color can be purely cosmetic for one device, but can impact the ability to address warnings on another device, which is considered substantial. Now we would like to talk about the roles of the interested parties. The two main players in change notices is the medical device manufacturer and the notified body. The role of the medical device manufacturer is clear. The manufacturer should establish, maintain, and apply a specific procedure in order to identify, categorize, plan, and document the implementation of changes and its impact on the product safety and its answer to the essential requirements. The notified body's role is to agree on the change category and also to assess its ability to confirm the regulatory requirements and finally to provide a decision based on the assessment. Looking at the roles of the two interested parties, one important link between them is the communication of change. If this is not established in a timely manner, it can lead to disruption of the change and its approval process. We will now take a look at the types of change assessment done by a notified body in view of the change. Assessment of change by your notified body can vary depending on the type of change, your device classification, and the regulatory requirements. It can take one or a combination of the following actions: an on-site audit, an off-site audit, an off-site review, a design or type examination, and as I said, it can be a combination of more than one of the above. As you can see, this can be a longer process than you think. Appropriate timing of communication and of implementation can help smoothen the process. Now we get to talk about what is needed in terms of communication. In our March monthly newsletter, we have provided a list of common changes and the average timelines to report those changes. We have also provided the list of essential information and documentation needed when reporting those changes to your notified body in order to assess the change. Your notified body might then ask for more information and more documentation related to the change. So this is not an exhaustive list, but it's a very good start. Based on the examples given, you can see that general timelines to communicate can vary from 2 weeks to 4 months. Again, we ask medical device manufacturers to work with their notified bodies, specifically to the change in question and the timelines. I invite you to take a look at the monthly newsletter for more details on the common examples of timelines and the main information to report. Your certification project manager and the production coordinator will be able to give you more information about the timelines, the assessment route, and also the decision-making process. As part of the communication plan, medical device manufacturers should ask their notified bodies for any updates in the change notice forms. They should also ask for a list of documentation to provide. This can help smoothen the process in terms of planning the activities and the assessments. It can also help you prepare for the change and trigger some unasked questions that medical device manufacturers may have missed in the process. Some common pitfalls and mistakes when notifying changes. Here are some common pitfalls when it comes to the implementation and notification of changes and the consequences of those mistakes. As you can see, delay in informing your notified body or implementation of the changes during your recertification audit can lead to major setbacks in the certification or recertification process. It is also important to note that changes in the quality system or device specification of your supply chain, for example, your critical suppliers, critical subcontractors, this falls under the responsibility of the medical device manufacturer. So you have to be sure to continuously monitor those types of changes, in addition to the changes on your end. Now, moving forward, we would like to emphasize the communication between medical device manufacturers and their notified body when it comes to change implementation. As a medical device manufacturer, when you're in doubt of what the change notice entails, don't hesitate to reach out to your notified body and specifically your certification project manager in order to discuss your project timeline and find common ground on the approach of communication, the documentation needed, the implementation plan, the assessment, and the decision-making process and timeline. Please utilize the many resources and contacts available to secure a smooth change implementation process. Also refer to the guidance documents provided and refer to the directives that are applicable to your medical device. I hope this webinar has emphasized on the importance of communication of change notices. LNE GMED is dedicated to answer your needs in the frame of the regulatory requirements and its obligations as a notified body. Please feel free to contact us for any specific questions related to the timelines and the documentations needed for the change notice to be processed. If you have any questions, the chat box will remain open for a few minutes, and we will answer them directly by email. You can also contact us directly at the address you see on the screen. Thank you very much for your time, and looking forward for continuous improvement.